Good day everyone. I'm the first presenter of Group 5 and I'm Colin Villamoste. I'm going to present to you the topic which is Moral Education Terminologies. Moral Education. Moral education means an ethical education to follow good and right principles of life. It considers of some basic principles like truthfulness, honesty, charity, hospitality, tolerance, love, kindness, and sympathy. Aims to help children acquire those virtues or moral habits that will help them individually live good lives and at the same time become productive, contributing members of their communities. Every enduring community has a moral code and it is responsibility and the concern of adults to instill this code in the hearts of minds of its young. Since the advent of schooling, adults have expected the schools to contribute positively to the moral education of children. It encourages children to reflect on how they should behave and what sort of people they should be. Philosophy. Philosophy means love of wisdom. Philosophy is an activity people undertake when they seek to understand fundamental truths about themselves, the world in which they live, and the relationship to the world and to each other. Wisdom means insight, having a deeper understanding of certain things. Wisdom has different meanings. It means intelligence, smartness, or the ability to differentiate right from wrong. The philosopher Pythagoras in the 6th century BCE was the first to call himself a philosopher, a philosophos or lover of wisdom. Wisdom is of great importance in our lives, as it helps us to deal with things in the best possible way to achieve the best result that a person seeks, taking into account all the possibilities that may arise to change the order of priorities and thus change the goal-seeking behavior. These who study philosophy are perpetually engaged in asking, answering, and arguing further questions. Philosophy pursues questions in every dimension of human life and its techniques applied to problems in any field study or endeavor. No brief definition expresses the richness and variety of philosophy. Theology. Theology is the systematic study of the nature of the divine and more broadly of religious belief. It is taught as an academic discipline, typically in universities and seminaries. The study of theology may help a theologian more deeply understand their own religious tradition, another religious tradition, or it may enable them to explore the nature of divinity without reference to any specific tradition. Theology might also help a theologian address some present situation or need through a religious tradition or to explore possible ways of interpreting the world. Theology is taught to priests and ministers so they can better understand their religion, and it's also taught in non-religious colleges to anyone who is curious about the ideas and effects of religion. Theo means God in Greek. Logi means the study of. Educators. Education is a lifelong, continuous, and multiple process which aim is all-round development of the child. Education is defined as the process of gaining knowledge. Education is a conscious and deliberate effort to create an atmosphere of learning and a learning process so that learners are actively developing the potential for him to have the spiritual strength of religious, self-control, personality, intelligence, noble character, and the skills needed themselves and society. Having education to an area helps people think, feel, and behave in a way that contributes to their success and improves not only their personal satisfaction but also their community. In addition, education develops human personality, thoughts, dealing with others, and preparedness people for life experience. An educator is responsible for teaching students and contributes to their learning development. An educator should have excellent communication and adaptation skills, especially on adjusting to different learning methods and approaches that the students will need. Educators in professional or service-related fields desires their students not only to learn theory and understand why theories are important, but also to learn how to apply the theoretical frameworks in practice. Duties of an educator include creating learning modules and materials, developing engaging activities, and facilitating learners' discussion. They are also in charge of monitoring the learner's progress, evaluating learners' knowledge by providing series of assessments, helping a learner to gain self-confidence and encourage the learners to reach their maximum potential. Principles. A principle is a proposition or value that is a guide or behavior or evaluation. A principle represents values that orient and rule the conduct of persons in a particular society. Truth is the property of being in accord with fact or reality. In everyday language, truth is typically ascribed to things that aim to represent reality or otherwise correspond to it, such as beliefs, propositions, and declarative sentences. Truth is usually held to be the opposite of falsehood. Principle is a moral rule or belief that helps you know what is right and wrong and that influences your action. Principle is a law or fact of nature that explains how something works or why something happens. Principle is a kind of rule, belief, or idea that guides you. Exemplary principles include first, do no harm, the golden rule, and the doctrine of the mean. Dogma. Dogma is a principle or set of principles laid down by an authority as incontrovertibly true. Dogma, in the broad sense, is any belief held with unquestionable certainty. It may be in the form of an official system of principles or doctrines of a religion, such as Roman, Catholicism, Judaism, or Protestantism, as well as the positions of philosophers or of a philosophical school such as Stoicism. Dogma is defined as principles or rules that cannot be questioned, or articles of faith in different religions. An example of dogma is the Ten Commandments in the Christian faith. Dogma, a belief or set of beliefs that is accepted by the members of a group without being questioned or doubted. Dogma, an official system of principles or tenets concerning faith, morals, behavior as of a church. Dogma in ancient Greek was something that seems true. Before I end my presentation, let me read this to you. The short saying by Mark Twain. Always do what is right, and it will gratify half of mankind and astone the other. Thank you, Keep safe and God bless everyone.